What is the most significant communication issue today? Technology, media concentration, communications policy, fair representation, or journalism ethics? All of these are important, but the most significant issue is communication itself. The value of communication is in the transmission of information that is reliable and with which the recipient can become knowledgeable and can make informed decisions. Unfortunately, this aim is often not achieved. The human race has invested enormously in the means of communication. Over the course of history, we have developed language and multiple technologies to communicate with each other. Postal services, the telegraph, the telephone, satellites, and the internet have borne messages across town and across continents. Information is whizzing across the planet in enormous amounts and at a lightning pace. But let's stand still for a moment and consider the result of the dissemination of these terabytes of data. The poet T.S. Eliot asked, "Where is the wisdom we have lost in knowledge? Where is the knowledge we have lost in information?" Are we any wiser for all the data that we absorb on a daily basis? Despite our increasing sophistication in how we communicate, miscommunications continue to occur frequently. We know this from the many times when our texts and emails carry the wrong nuance and our friends misunderstand our meaning, or worse, are upset at us. This is not a new problem related only to contemporary communications technologies. Philosophers have been debating it for thousands of years. For example, Socrates debated the value of face-to-face dialogue over written materials. Unintended miscommunications have caused misunderstandings, and this has led to conflict. Worse still, we also have deliberate miscommunication or disinformation that is designed to mislead the recipients of messages. In this, there is no intent of providing information that is reliable and with which the recipient can make knowledgeable or wise decisions. On the contrary, the aim is to produce ignorance deliberately, ignorance that will benefit some parts of society, but not others. One of the biggest challenges for those who wish to wield political or economic power in a democracy is to influence public opinion. A complex machinery which draws on polling, public relations, advertising, and media production works to sway public opinion in one direction or another. The suppression of information, the distribution of disinformation, attack ads, and other forms of propaganda all serve to enhance ignorance in a population. This becomes a very serious problem when information is manipulated to produce conflict that serves the interests of some parts of society. Public support for recent wars has been obtained in this manner. The systematic resort to cultural stereotypes, historical untruths, and religious polemics have succeeded in moving publics to support various kinds of measures or military action. The most advanced instruments of communication have been mobilized for these efforts. Disinformation is distributed through movies, television, iPods, iPads, and iPhones. Propagandic success is achieved when members of the public, media producers, and journalists begin to reproduce the untruths. Hundreds of thousands of lives have been lost and trillions of dollars have been spent in fighting the wars of the last decade and a half. Many people have lost dear ones, and some have raked in huge profits. Samuel Huntington calls this the clash of civilizations, because he thought that human civilizations are destined to fight with each other. On the other hand, Edward Said, who studied how the other is constructed culturally by the self, disagrees with Huntington. He calls it the clash of ignorance. The few on both sides who benefit politically and financially from war use the tools of communication to promote ignorance. Despite the enormous advances that we have made in developing the means of communication, wisdom seems to elude us. The central challenge for communications, therefore, is to understand how knowledge is lost in the production and dissemination of information.